Here's a roundup of the news in the Forest this week. Thousands of Forest commuters will face 6 months of gridlock when a £10 million improvement scheme starts on the A40. Gloucestershire Highways is widening the dual carriageway between Hynham and Over roundabouts to incorporate a bus lane and new drainage. The work will tie in with Gloucestershire County Council's plans for a park and ride scheme near the A48 and A40 junction. The road approaching Gloucester, which is notorious for rush hour tailbacks, will be reduced to one lane in each direction when work starts in May. The fight is on to save 7 post offices which are under threat of closure in the Forest of Dean. The closures will happen in June after a 6-week consultation period which is currently ongoing. Campaigners spoke to FTV outside Rusbridge Post Office on what the closures would mean for the area.
What people don't realise, this post office serves almost 3 villages, and that's the bit they don't realise. You can imagine someone sat at a desk thinking this is a small post office on the side of a town which got a post office in its centre. This is not the case. You know, this area here is a village in its own right, some Whites area. You've got Rusbridge and you've got Sudeley. And they're saying to these people there's a regular bus service between the 2 villages. The next village that got a post office is Little Dean. There ain't no bus service. So that's a nonsense. They talk about there's no disabled access. There's no steps on this post office. So somebody ain't done their own work somewhere really, and they certainly need to. There's a development coming up the road with nearly 200 houses. It's going to be added to this area. So there'll be more business for the post office. They just ain't doing their own work. And I just feel so angry about it, to be honest with you.
We are going to, any moment now, get a planning application for 182 houses at White's Farm, which is about a quarter of a mile up the road from here. They haven't taken into account that there is no bus service from Sudeley to Little Dean, as they claim in their leaflet, where a lot of people come from who use Rusbridge Post Office. The post office in Cinderford, which they are listing as another alternative, is very busy, has recently been downsized, and most days there are long queues waiting to use that facility. The closure of this post office will only add to that problem.
Good weather brought spectators out in their thousands to watch the thrills and spills of the Wydene Rally. Herefordshire farmer Andy Burton clinched his 5th Wydene victory on Saturday in his Peugeot Cosworth. Andy told the Forester he'd never seen so many spectators at any event in the country. Here's a few clips from the day. To see a bigger selection of highlights from the day, including in-car footage, log on to thisisgloucestershire.co.uk. And finally, women in the Forest have been throwing their weight around at a new self-defence course. FTV's Jenny Silver joined Neighbourhood Watch Field Officer Chrissy Parks at a self-defence course for women to find out how the tide is turning on fear.
Yes, it's about empowerment really. It's about teaching women not to be afraid to go out, not to walk down a street coming back from the theatre at night, and to know how to handle the situation, and that confidence will exude from them and they're far less likely to be attacked. And if they are, then they have some simple basic techniques which will cause some amount of pain if someone pushes it far enough, but at the end of the day isn't going to actually do necessarily any physical harm unless they are life-threatened, and then we do take it to that level.
That's all for FTV this week, but for more, including a roundup of all this week's news and sport, grab a copy of this week's paper. And don't forget to keep up to date with breaking news from our website at thisisgloucestershire.co.uk. There'll be more from us next week. Thanks for watching.